Hello. So I would like to talk about the knowledge of the closing process in a large-scale products in my presentation. So I will talk about the curation service called the NAVER MATOME that closed at the end of September this year. The title, Knowledge of the Closing Process in Large-Scale Product, is named by the Mr. Sakuragawa, project manager, who is known for a title creator. And this is today's agenda. So I will briefly introduce myself and also NAVER MATOME, that is the main topic of my presentation today. And also I will list out the tasks that we have performed for the closing of the NAVER process and focus on the two of the issues associated with the close process this time. And I will explain the problem as well as the lessons learned from that. And at the end, I will talk about the future. Let me introduce myself first. I've been engaged in the system development for 20 years. I joined Line in 2018, and I was in charge of the development management of the NAVER MATOME, and currently I'm involved in the internal new service development. NAVER MATOME is the topic of today's presentation. And first, I will introduce the event and the design transitions, including a renewal. NAVER MATOME is a user-generated curation service. It started as the PC website in 2009 as a service. And since then, we have added the series of features such as the mobile version. The following year of the launch in 2010, incentive program started. This was the initial design. It looked like a news portal. In 2010, the design was revised in a way that the Matome list is very much emphasized on the front page. Since then, we launched the smartphone apps and also renewed the article creation features for Matome, and in 2012 it was commercialized. This is a design of 2011. This was as of 2012. This is almost the same design at the time of the close in 2020. We have continued to renew the features since 2013, and in 2015 we had the record high monthly PV and UV. In 2017, Line's subsidiary Next Library has actually took over the business. And this year, in 2020, the 11 years of services closed. And after closing the NAVER MATOME services close, there are some reactions from the market. This is, for example, the Yahoo's reaction. It was ranked in the Yahoo Topics rank and also Yahoo Trend #1. And this is the Twitter reaction. It was in the trend rank #1. Left-hand side is July 1st when we posted the notification of the close, and the right-hand side is September 30th. That's when we closed the services, and the comment and reactions are controversial. Let's look at the numbers of NAVER MATOME. Total PV is 171.8 billion. Monthly PV, maximum PV, was 3.1 billion. And monthly maximum UV was 75.62 million. During the 11 years, 1.8 million Matome was created at the end of the close. And also the total account that created Matome was over 300,000. Matome article that attracted most views was over 300 million views, and also 26,000 Matome was created by the single user. And lastly, since the start of the service to the close, it was 4,110 days that we provided the services. This was the outline of the NAVER Matome service. Now I would like to talk about the closing. First, tasks for closing. There were about 270 total tasks towards closing. We made our decision to close in June, and since then we have decided to address all of those tasks. And the NAVER Matome had the many features implemented, and depending on the features and functionalities, some require the notification to the government agencies and authorities. This is the rough categorization of all those tasks. For users, we needed to consider the wording for the notification of close to users, and also we had to discontinue the issuance of new account, and we actually scrutinized the help page. And for partners, NAVER Matome had so much support from many partners, and we had to go through the cancellation of the contract, and we had to adjust the timing of the canceling these contract and the confirming the end date. There are some services stipulation and the contract, and we needed to come up with the quote for required man-hour and resource for close, and decided to focus on the particular close method and determine the end date. This time we needed the 3 months since the notification. So whether we can make announcement or not will determine and impact the timing decision of the close. And in terms of the closing process, we had some issued, and we had the lessons learned. We have experienced a series of issues towards the closing process. So in this presentation, we would like to focus on these two issues. First, 3 months before the close, we needed to post the announcement of the close that is required to close the service, especially the announcement on the iOS apps. This is about the control to the release for the product that are under operation.
It was immediately after It was a situation right after service end was decided. It requires an end notice period of 3 months to close NAVER Matome. To release iOS app with end notice, refurbishment period and Apple's review period are required. At the beginning of June, when NAVER Matome end of service was confirmed, we decided service end target is the end of September. In order to end service at the end of September, we had to disclose service end notice July 1st, 3 months before. At this point, for iOS app, the earliest timing of service and notice implementation was at the end of June. If the release of end notice is after July 1st, it is possible that total service close schedule can be impacted. The problem we found here was about sign-in with Apple. The end of April this year was the deadline from Apple, but it was extended to the end of June for some reasons. In NAVER Matome iOS app, sign-in with Apple was not implemented at the time. We were thinking that we should start supporting it with the next fix we make. If there is a delay in refurbishment or app review is rejected and release review is approved after the end of June, we need to implement sign-in with Apple because the review will be conducted in July or later. This further delays release timing. Anyway, nothing will change unless you do something, so we refurbished and submitted the store application. As a result, app release application to Apple passed on the 1st of July Japan time, and we were able to release to store right after on the same day. Lessons learned. We should have considered more about the potential impact of the platform we were using on our services. Cases where service refurbishment may not be in control of release should have been addressed with greater importance. These are the lessons. We felt the importance to keep maximum control of the services we provide as long as we provide them. The next case. Compared with case 1, this is more about what we need to be aware of in the preparation for service end with some reflection and self-discipline. 1 month before closing, video search in Matome article generation implemented in NAVER Matome became no longer available. The feature Find and Add for video items YouTube API was used. This API has an API frequency quarter per day and managed in the unit called query. But 1 month before service end, we found out that the number of query was 0. In February, 6 months before this, we made an application for YouTube API quota increase to Google. We waited for the answer for 2 months and gave up because there was no reply. We checked the application again and found out that we received a message saying we were violating API rules and the size was changed to 0. Further check revealed that we received warnings several times since then. That was a mistake on our side because we missed checking it. Because of this, thumbnail of YouTube video is not displayed when they are added from Find and Add. As a way to respond, we considered resubmitting application requesting an increase of upper limit of search query number used in YouTube API. But in order to submit application, we need to comply with YouTube API terms of service. The necessary renovations are changing logos and icons. We can respond it right away. Change in how to use YouTube API. This requires some level of system refurbishment. We are not able to get estimated effort immediately. Changes to NAVER Matome terms of use. This requires in-house approval and public notice to users about change. This cannot be done immediately. Let me summarize so far. The problems occurred 1 month before the end of service. Solutions in the previous slides fall behind service end timing. However, there are not many users using this function, so we thought like the following. Isn't it all right to keep as it is for a month until the service ends? This is what PM told us at this timing. Service is still working. You might feel somewhat relaxed because you know the service will end, but we want you to be focused again. It's my regret that PM had to say such a word to us. As for the response taken, in the end, the issue was resolved with another plan using the way embed to avoid the use of YouTube API. This can be handled only by developers and resolved in a week. It was not a perfect solution, but a feasible option at that time. Lessons learned from here. You need to keep in mind clearly that even the service is going to finish soon, it is in progress. It is a product many members and users are involved with, and each has its own sentiment. Think about whatever you can do. Keep comfortable service usage until the end of it. We once again felt the importance of such lessons in collaborating with other people. Lastly, about the future. Experience and knowledge gained in the service planning, operation, and development of NAVER MATOME will be transferred to other line teams. Stay tuned for the coming plans and services. That's all from me. Thank you very much.